How can you share feedback? Well, you can go to our online form at www.celebratedouglascounty.com/strategic planning feedback. You can also send us an email to douglasforward2025@co.douglas.ga.us. I understand we had some difficulties with it earlier this week, but we have fixed the glitch. And then the third way is what we're going to do this evening: participate with you directly in virtual meetings so that you can share directly with the project team. Also, we would like you to know that we are recording tonight's activity, and each one of our meetings that we're recording with citizens, we are putting them back out on a county's website and also mailing them out either through social media or other forms so that everybody in the community can take part in these meetings if they were participating live, or they'll be able to see them recorded. Here's an example of our feedback form. And we ask that you, even during the course of this meeting, even though you're going to give us your share directly, the most important way for you to share with us is to go to this form and complete the feedback form. This is how we're going to take all of the data that we're going to receive from citizens, and that's going to help us put together our strategic objectives for the county over the next 5 years. So now that we've taken care of a few housekeeping items, I want to turn it over to our host for the night, Ms. Tiffany Stewart-Stanley, which I'm sure most of you know. And we may also have a special guest who may also join us. And if she does, we will stop and acknowledge her as well. But Tiffany, good evening, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lionel. I really appreciate you for that great introduction. And I want to just say thank you guys so much for being here this evening. And I just want to let you guys know that what you're doing is a very, very important thing for Douglas County. We want input from people to let us know what you want to see, what community needs need to be met, and what you want to see in the future. And that is the purpose of Douglas Forward 2025. It's going to kind of serve as a playbook, a guidebook for the Douglas County government to make sure that we're meeting the needs of citizens. But what tonight is for listening. You know, we want to hear your thoughts, your ideas. We want to hear your feedback. And so with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to go around them. I'm going to say the room, but it's the screen. And we're going to just go to everyone. And if you have any ideas that you have for Douglas County, this is the time that we want to hear them. We also want to encourage you, like Lionel said, to please go on to our website at celebratedouglascounty.com/strategic planning feedback and fill out the form. And as always, we definitely want you to share it with all of your networks. You are on this meeting tonight because you are a leader in our community, and we need you and your help to lead this effort. I really appreciate you in external affairs. We call on so many of your groups and you always answer the call. So with that being said, we're going to start off, and I'm going to start with Miss Patty Wink.
Yay, I get to be first. Thank you, Tiffany. I'm Patty Wank. I'm a small business owner in Douglas County. We've lived here 18 years, but I'm also the board chair for CORE. And that's, if you may not know, it's Communities Organizing Resources for Excellence. And we are under the umbrella of the Georgia Family Connections. So what we try to do is really keep a pulse, a sense of what's going on in our nonprofit areas, what's going on in our federal and state organizations that work with families. Obviously, our big focus has to do with our children. You know, are we meeting their needs? Are there areas where we know that we need to work on? So it's extremely important for us to be part of what's going on with this forum. I know Amanda's somewhere there too. She's probably out in the water. That's why we probably can't see her on the beach. Anyway, so it's just, and being part of the community, I think, is being active in the community. So that's why I'm on here today. And available for any areas in which we can be of assistance through our organization. And also, obviously, it's important for us to get more businesses involved in what's happening with our community, so we have an open dialogue.
Right. Thank you so much for that information, Ms. Wank. We really appreciate you and all your contributions. And so next we'll go to Mr. Lloyd Fields for his input. Mr. Fields.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lloyd Fields with the Share House. I'm so surprised that I get a chance to meet with everybody virtually. I hope everybody is doing fine and are healthy. I work, of course, I'm an outreach coordinator with the Share House, and we are really excited and hopeful about what's going on in Douglas County, and we really want to be a part. We know that domestic violence, which is my field, has been a hot situation over this past year, and so we're looking forward to see what how can we serve, and also how the county can help the Share House. So thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, and so what we're looking for here, any feedback that you guys have for Douglas County, ideas that you want to have. So we're just going to go around the room. I know we've had a couple people to join us since we started. So we're going to go around the room, and we are looking for your ideas. So I will next go to Miss Dominique Holloman.
Good evening, everyone. Tiffany, thank you so much for inviting the Junior League to join. Just to give a brief overview of Junior League, we were formed in 1990. In January, we began our 31st year of service here in Douglas County. We focus on being a civic leadership organization seeking to make generational change through sustained community impact. We focus on 3 areas. Our primary community impact area is literacy, and we've also adopted the causes of period poverty and menstrual equity, as well as food security in our community. I think we have a variety of ideas from the service that, based off the service that we provided in the county. I don't know, Tiffany, if you want us to get into that at this time, or if you just want to go around and continue the introductions.
Oh, no. So, what we'll do is, because I think what happened was we started with Ms. Wank. We were looking for the ideas originally, but what I'll do is I will, we can do an introduction, and we'll come back for ideas as we started that way. All right, Miss Kathy Smith-Curry.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Director Stuart Stanley, for having us this evening on the phone. I am also with Share House, and we have served Douglas for over 30 years, providing crisis intervention and a continuum of care to address the causes and effects of family violence. So we are looking forward to the discourse this evening and talking about how we can improve conditions for those individuals impacted by violence. And our ultimate goal, of course, is to eradicate violence in both Douglas and Paulding counties. So again, thank you for having us this evening, and we look forward to further discussion.
Thank you. Sorry, Ms. Faye Lattimore. Ms. Faye. All right, we'll come back to her. Ms. Darlene Kahn.
Okay, I'm there. I'm sorry. I was trying to unmute. So first, thank you for involving us. I might be a little off today. I had eye surgery this morning, so the drugs are kind of still there, which is why I'm not showing my face. I'm with Vision 21 Concepts, Inc. And we are a community service organization that focuses on the homeless population, providing them housing and supportive services. We also work with justice-involved individuals, senior citizens. We also collaborate with the accountability courts, focusing on our returning citizens to ensure they have the tools and techniques that they need to move forward in society.
Miss Darlene Kimes.
I am here. I am here. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be a part of this, part of the strategic planning meeting tonight. Thank you, Tiffany, for the work you do in the community and for the people here who love Douglasville as I do. For me, of course, I am the president of Douglas County Connection here in Douglasville, Georgia, that deals with the arts. I have not yet done the survey yet, but I surely look forward to doing the survey and engaging my team members in it to make sure that we incorporate the needs and concerns of those individuals. As a community leader in Douglasville, Georgia, of course, I am concerned about public safety first. I'm concerned about the increasing need to service our aging population as it continues to grow. I'm very interested in engaging our young people and our strategic planning process. They bring new ideas as well to our strategic planning process. And I would like to, I'm looking forward to working with each one of you and deciding what we can do to help make Douglas County the best county in the world. So that's why I'm here today.
All right, Mr. Donahue Redmond. Thank you, Ms. Darlene. Mr. Donahue Redmond. See, we'll give him a moment. Miss Amanda Bryant.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Redmond.
Thank you. I had the same problem. I couldn't get my cursor to go over to unmute me. But so I'm Donahue Redmond, and I thank you for the opportunity to be heard in terms of our community involvement and what we think would be good for Douglasville. I and my wife, we are involved in youth mentoring. She has a youth group for girls. It's called Rap Pearl's Mentoring and Leadership Program. And I am involved in one for boys, which is called the Men of Steel Mentoring Program. Now she's been around since 2015, and we've been around in the boys group since 2018. We've both struggled with a couple of things. And one of the things I think that would benefit us is, number one, we struggle with trying to find a suitable place to hold our meetings for the young folks to come to. Another thing is we think it would be great if we had recreation facilities. There are recreational facilities in Douglasville, Hunter Park in particular, Jesse Davis Park, I'm aware of that. But on the other side of 20, I'm not aware of any recreational facilities where we may be able to hold meetings for those mentors that we have. So those are a couple of things that we need. In addition to that, as we bring young people in to mentor them and to help them to grow and help them mature in their minds and their bodies and their spirits and to become more productive citizens, we also need some type of job development activity, not just for the special kids that are ACE students, but for other young kids too, boys and girls. What we want to try to do, and we identify boys and girls that are, I'll say at risk, even though I don't like to use that term, boys and girls that need development, that need a mentor. I was once involved with one kid that I was mentoring and going down to the courthouse. And the thing that got my attention and another couple of men that are now part of the Men of Steel is coming into the court system in front of the judge. There was always a mother or a grandmother. We didn't see any fathers with them. So that kind of said to us that we are in we really do need a mentoring program to help reduce these kids being caught up in the juvenile system and to pour some positive things into them. So if we could get a recreation facility on this side of 20, if we can find a meeting place where we can hold meetings, and I know that We probably have a lot of groups that would like to hold meetings in different places, but if we had a facility, we could have someone to schedule a meeting for the different groups when they need it. And if we had a job development program, I think those things would be very beneficial to the youth in Douglasville. So that's all I have, and I do want to thank you for the opportunity to be heard. Am I still on mute?
Thank you so much for that information. So, and then I think Amanda Bryant, we'll let you introduce yourself. And then after Ms. Bryant, what we're going to do is we're going to open it up for those who have not given their ideas on things that they would like to see Douglas County, things that community needs now and things in the future. This is an opportunity. We'll go back around and allow you to do that. So Ms. Bryant, if you will go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Amanda Bryant. I'm the Executive Director of Douglas Core. We are community organizing our resources for excellence. And Patty is my chair and Vonda is my assistant. And I should know all of you on this screen. The fact that I don't means that you need to join Douglas Core because we are here for the nonprofits. Sir, you're looking for space? We could have helped you with that. There's very little that we can't help you with when it comes to our nonprofits. And we would love for you guys to become involved in CORE. We meet on the second Tuesday of every month, and we're doing everything virtually because we too are not ready to go back in. But that is what CORE is for. We are here to help us to bring the resources that you need in order to provide the services that our community needs. We're a link. That's what we do. We don't compete, we help. And that's all that we want to do. And so we would love to be there for you guys. If you haven't become involved in CORE, this is a great time for you to join. If you need to speak to someone, feel free. I'll have my information in the chat. And we would love for you to become involved because the nonprofits are very important to making this a wonderful place to live, work, and play. But for it to be that, then the nonprofits have to be very involved so that we balance out our government and our businesses, the linkage. So if you'd like to be part of the solutions, please join Douglas Core, and we are looking forward to coming to the strategic planning process and making sure that we're representing everyone as we think about what's going to make Douglas County the absolute best place in the world to live. Thank you, Tiffany.
You're welcome. And thank you for that. And one of the things that I want to drive home is you're on here today because we want to make sure that you get with your organizations and your groups and make sure that this information you forward it. I know a lot of you have big mailing lists, mailing lists and things of that nature, because having this plan will help all of our organizations, the county, and just make sure that people know what Douglas County, citizens need and want. So Linus at the end will remind you all where you can go. You can go to celebratedouglascounty.com/strategic planning feedback to provide your forms. So for those of you who did not get an opportunity to kind of give us some ideas of some things you want to see in Douglas County, I'm gonna just kind of go to some of you that did not and see if you have any ideas. So I'll start with Mr. Fields. Mr. Fields, do you have any ideas that you would like to share for the video? You're on mute.
I would like to pass just for a moment.
Okay.
I'm having some audio difficulties here. I can't really hear you guys barely. I'm almost like sight reading you. So I'll come back.
That's fine. I'll go to Miss Patty Wank.
I think one of the areas, and because there are so many that are nonprofits here, and Amanda's already mentioned that, one of the areas that we find that we have found with CORE is that our community has some absolutely amazing nonprofit groups. The thing is, they're very isolated. They're each maybe doing their own thing, and what we'd love to be able to do is to be able to pull together. You can have grants can be stronger when each person's bringing in different pieces. If we're not having the duplicates, our nonprofits in Douglas County could create some absolutely amazing and powerful grants by reaching out and finding out who is complementary, who can bring a piece to a grant that maybe someone else doesn't have. And so that we really are making an impact, whether it's on the homeless or Mr. Redmond was talking about the young people being mentored. That is such a huge area that we need to have our children and make sure that they have role models and they have ones that can help them become what we know they're capable of. And I agree with him with this comment of not being at risk. I worked with the Danny Center for years, and that purpose was to help them see their uniqueness were strengths. Their uniqueness in the classroom or what they were going through might have been channeled a way that wasn't the best, but they needed the guidance and they needed to have places for them to go. But as far as ability and their capability, these are brilliant, talented, amazing kids. And it's heartbreaking to see that we just aren't giving them enough of the pieces and the foundations that they need. So however we can, as a community, pull together one of the best things that we have, which are our nonprofits, the passion that you people have for what you're doing. I mean, it's just, it brings me to tears because I've watched what so many young people have gone through. So if somehow the county can help us do that and be able for us to become that strong unit, because that's really that's what we try to do with CORE. And we were headed that way. And then all of a sudden now we're in pieces like we are right now. But I think that's one of our strongest areas that we have, whether it's working with mental health and with homelessness, the number of children that are homeless, we have those, but we also have, I think we have the solutions. If we could just come together in a forum and really meet and create something that's extremely powerful so that it becomes what Douglas County needs to be for our children.
Okay, Patty. So what I'm hearing is more funding and opportunities for nonprofits and more collaboration. Thank
Yes.
you. That's amazing. We really appreciate
You
that.
were good at shortening all the stuff I said. Thank you, Tiffany.
No,
know
and that's what we want to hear
Oh,
tonight.
it's just that I just get so, yeah, our children.
Yes. No, we appreciate your passion. We really do. And so that's what we're looking for. So for those of you who just joined us, thank you so much. What we're doing right now is we are going around the virtual room, and we're allowing everyone, if you haven't had an opportunity, you introduce yourself, and then we will allow you to tell us what are some things you would like to see for Douglas County. It could be things such as what we just heard from Ms. Wank, more funding for mental health and collaboration, or it could be things as simple as, beautification, road repair, things that citizens, typically want to see. So I'm going to, at this time, I miss Miss Faith Jones. And I'm going to give her an opportunity to introduce herself. And then if she has any input that she would like to give us, things that she would like to see Douglas County for the, over our next 5 years for our plan, I will allow you to do so. Faith.
Thank you, Tiffany. We appreciate the opportunity to be part of the conversation tonight. What I would just piggyback on is our service projects that we do as a league, the Junior League of Douglas County. We are a nonprofit organization and we serve the Douglas County community. And as our president, Dominic Holloman, has stated, we've been in the community for over 30 years. So one of our primary projects right now is menstrual equity. So for me, that's what popped in my head is that, what we do know is that young girls do not have the necessary supplies that they need. And so what we've started doing is partnering with the schools to provide those supplies, to the elementary and high schools, just to, make sure that need is met. Period poverty is a real big issue. And even the tax on menstrual products is an issue that we are working with Georgia Stump to eradicate. So right now, that's the top of mind for me. It's just the issues around that and helping the young girls that may not have the need and trying to figure out for us as as an organization, how to continue our partnerships with maybe local companies that could donate products. We also, have impacted populations that we may not be aware of, like maybe figuring out how we can get information through the county to organizations that could help the young girls, in addition to, serving the schools in that way. And then I also think about food insecurity, especially, in times like these with COVID and post, I guess, are we out of COVID? I'm not sure. I know the vaccination has started, so I'm not sure where we are with it, but just to say that, people are hurting right now, and we need to address primary issues like food, shelter, basic needs. And although we're a small organization, we have big impact in the community. And I would like to see us further our partnerships where we can expand our touch and our reach, that impacts not only just, us for no more, but, a larger part of the population. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. That's some great ideas, food for thought. I really appreciate that. And so next I'm going to go to, we have a couple people that joined us. So I'm going to go to Ms. Tremel Howard and allow her to introduce herself and let us know if there are any things that she would like to see for Douglas County as a citizen and as a leader in our community.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart Stanley. I'm Tremel Howard, president of the West Georgia chapter of the Links Incorporated, and happy to be here this evening. For me, I would say two things that I think that my organization would like to see is increased mentoring of our young people. We have a mentoring program right now for 6th to 8th grade students that are in the West Georgia area, and just having the opportunity to be able to expose the students not only to academic improvement, but as well as cultural activities, so that we can just build up a well-rounded young person. Additionally, college prep, and then supporting our students who are actually in college. And so we are a new chapter, and as soon as we get out of these first 2 years of sort of no fundraising, we are going to be doing all that we can to raise funds for students who are in college, and not only at historically Black colleges and universities, but also in colleges where the population is significantly high in the minority community, like a University of West Georgia. And so those are two main areas, as well as we can't ignore the COVID crisis that is going on right now. And we're currently working on a grant to get funding to be able to partner with other nonprofits to help bring the vaccine to those who may not be able to have access to it, not because they don't want it, but maybe they don't drive, or they just need that support. They don't have money to actually get to the places where the vaccine is being offered. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. So more just supporting the community. That's a great an alignment between our local governments and our nonprofit organizations. Thank you. All right. And then Ms. Justina Reynolds, I see you here, and I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. And if you have anything that you would like to see for Douglas County, like I said, it could be things associated with your organization and nonprofit, but also things as a citizen. If you want to see, the roads repaired, or you want to see, funds go in a certain direction, this is your opportunity. So, Mr. Reynolds.
Good evening. I'm so sorry. So glad to be here and to hear the different opportunities that are being stated that can improve our community. But as my president, Tremel Howard, has just spoken to, those are the things that our organization will be focusing on. And we're just so happy that we could hear from others to know how we can expand that reach. And so, yeah, of course, we all want better roads and so forth, but our focus will be on the mentoring of our students from 6th to 8th, as well as just helping those students who are going off to college. And like she said, not just HBCUs, but wherever they decide to land. And once again, thank you for inviting us, and thank you for hosting this.
No, thank you. And like I said, I hear a theme, making sure that their partnerships, and that, you know, we know the issues that are important to the nonprofits and community organizations. So thank you. All right, so next I'm going to go back to Ms. Darlene Kimes and give her an opportunity to tell us some things that she would like to see as a Douglas County citizen, the Douglas County government focus on. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I wanted to kind of piggyback on what Tramel said a few minutes ago as it relates to our young professionals coming in, getting involved in our community. And collaboration is mostly important. I think as we look at the different organizations that's currently existing in Douglas County, more collaboration in terms of our cultural activities and our all-out activities in the county. Important for me is I like to see us as community leaders in Douglas County to start engaging our young leadership. I think even if, let's say, for example, even we have a board in Douglas County, we should be able to identify at least one either college student from Douglas County, whether it's in West Georgia, wherever, and make a space for them to be a part of our organizations, our different departments, boards, or whatever, so we can start grooming our young people for leadership positions in Douglas County. And I think we will see a big difference in them. I think they will bring some creative ideas to our county. And more importantly, if we are able to reach out to them to do a survey, we may have to look at an age group or professional level group, a young professional group, whatever, and have them give us some ideas and things they might see happen. This is their city, their county as well. And I think it'll be very important if we can also, like I say, reach out to them, find a space for them on our board. I'm looking to have at least 2 or 3 more young people to serve in my Douglas County Connection committee, because I like to have them bring that talent. Last year, we brought in a group of young professional artists last year, and it was off the change. It made a big impact in Douglas County. People didn't even realize. So I'm just thinking that as we continue to grow our own, putting them in leadership positions, or put them on at least a youth board or something like that, will help grow our own and really see what they're thinking and how they like to see Douglasville progress as well. So.
Well, thank you. So I hear you, you know, make some room at the table for our young adults.
Yes.
Thank you for that idea. All right, so I'm going to go back to Ms. Kathy Smith Curry.
Thank you, Mrs. Stewart Stanley. As it relates to opportunities in the community, you know, Share House, as I mentioned, has been in Douglas County for quite some time. And I see a real opportunity to expand education on domestic violence. You know, families make up strong communities, and when families are torn apart, the community is fragmented. And so there is an opportunity to educate young people, whether it's through mentoring or education in the school systems. That's going to help us to break that perpetual cycle of violence and create a place for young people to feel safe and to be happy and healthy and to thrive. Another concern that I have is more education on the commercial sexual exploitation of children. Research supports that there is, in fact, a correlation between domestic violence, family violence, and human trafficking, and also labor trafficking. So I think an opportunity to provide resources around education so that we can help to break some of these cycles that are or can be instrumental in destroying our community. And I hate to say something negative, but it is in fact a topic that has to be discussed, because if we don't talk about it, we can't do anything about it. And so I want to make sure that we are aware of that and the impact that it has on our community. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Smith Curry. Thank you for that. So I'm hearing more public awareness of heavy issues that could be affecting our community, and making sure that the county government plays a part in that. I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Lloyd Fields. I believe you wanted to piggyback.
Yes, I just wanted to piggyback on Miss Curry. You know, one of you know, our basic the population that we really work with is victims of domestic violence, actually families. And everything that everybody has said so far, especially things that positive things that impact the children, that's a common thread with domestic violence. And of course, with our agency, we're dealing with the whole family. Everything that impacts the family. When a family comes to Share House, they are considered certifiably homeless, right? And they have to get their lives back together in so many ways. And one of, some basic ways is, and some of the things I would like to see is how do we bring viable jobs, more viable jobs into the community. The quicker a mother or a father who's part of domestic violence, or anybody who's been impacted, and if they have to, if they've been impacted by domestic violence, they have to leave, their household. Oftentimes they don't have a job or anything, and they need a job to get back on their feet. So I would like to see, more jobs come into the community. I would also like to see a better networking with realtors, because our inventory here is very low, and the inventory that's out there, is very expensive. So I would like to see good, affordable housing coming in to our community. I would like to see some ways where we can network with the realtors and homeowners who have that kind of capacity to put some of our families into affordable homes, good affordable homes. I would like to see that coming on into our community.
Well, thank you. And so I'm hearing more economic development and more affordable housing options. And so thank you for that information. So next I will go to Mr. Donahue Redmond. If you have anything else to add, I will yield to you.
Well, thank you. I do not have anything else to add, but I do appreciate the opportunity to hear what everyone else is doing. There does seem to be a lot of synergy in terms of our focuses. So we are not separate and distinct. So that's a good thing.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. And then Ms. Dominique Holloman. Just want to make sure you
based off what I've heard, Tiffany, I'd just like to add, I'm not sure if it's the proper role of the county, but maybe just serving as a convener. I think Ms. Bryant made the point that, CORE has kind of worked to be a convener, but many of us are unaware of their work, and she's unaware of the work that many of us do. So maybe if there's just a time where we can come together, like those organizational fairs we used to have in college, where you could just walk around and speak with people about the work that they're doing, or maybe even if it's some kind of nonprofit symposium that the county would put on, so we can be better aware of each other's work and then find those partnerships, because a lot of the partnerships that we've come across in League have been quite accidental. Like maybe we went to meet with them about XYZ, and then it turns out that they wanted help with ABC, and we've been able to organically have a partnership. But it would just be much easier if we could say, we want to focus on food insecurity. Who else in the county is doing it? And it was a place where we could go where all that information is kind of in one place.
Yes, got my mind spinning there. Thank you so much, Ms. Holloman. And then I'm going to go to, I think I saw Vonda Thorpe, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you, Tiffany. I know I told you I wasn't going to speak, but because I am kind of going through a little healing over here. But one of the things that, because I participate on more than, I'm here Junior League as well as CORE, and as well as assisting sometimes other nonprofit organizations. And I know that a lot of times we are funded by the members and the fundraisers that we do. Even with CORE, there's sponsorships and things of that nature that keeps us afloat. Too, like Patty was talking about, the larger grants. I think that is something that is needed. Maybe if we were coming together, and I know that there are times where CORE has received grants and have given pieces and have been a pass-through to other organizations, which I think is great. But I'm thinking that if we could do things on a larger scale, I know that in Carroll County, they have the Burson Center, which from my understanding, it may be on its way out, but I think if we had something like that to maybe help with training for nonprofits, because there are so many duplication of services, and some do things correctly and some do not. Even far as being able to conduct the meetings the way they should be, professional, to even be able to appeal to those larger donors. And then if we had like a mixed use building, that perhaps the nonprofit organizations would have a place to have meetings without always scrambling around to find a place that's either free or affordable. If we had a mixed use building that maybe perhaps was owned by the county, that would be available for like a junior league meeting or a CORE meeting, or for Mr. Redmond's meetings that he would need, because that's a thing that is very common with nonprofits. You know, the money that you're raising, yes, it's going to help the individuals that you're serving, but then you also have to have a place to meet. Right now, a lot of them are meeting virtually, so it's free right now. But when we open back up, we're back to writing a check for some of these meetings that we have. But since we're talking about a strategic plan, maybe that could be something that's looked into, that maybe there's somebody that can donate a building that can be renovated, or that we can put it out there to the community. Hey, you know, I know that you're a handyman. Can you do this? And then we recognize them as what they did for this community, you know, and that's maybe their payment. I mean, I don't know exactly how it would all work, but I think that if we had something like that in the works, it would be beneficial to all nonprofits, and it would give us a space maybe to even come together to have some of these fairs like Dominique was talking about. I know there is a link fair that happens once a year, and I believe that's sponsored by the county. But even with that, the awareness, a lot of times people don't know what's going on, and that even like that event is available, you know. So those are just a few things that I wanted to add to the conversation.
No, I appreciate that. And I hear you bringing people together so they can come up with ideas to be better, to make our community better. I make it easier for them. So I appreciate that. And so Ms. Faye Lattimore, I see your hand. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll yield to you for your ideas.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to really add on to some of the ideas that were already presented. Our focus is on education, employment, and housing. We serve, again, the individuals living in places that may not be met for human habitation. We focus on homeless probationers, parolees, people that have been evicted, maybe family separation. And with this, we want to ensure that we provide services for basic human needs. We provide safety, and affordable housing, establish safe and viable, attractive neighborhoods, and enhance resources for positive individual, family, and community growth. And also a key thing for our population is creating employment opportunities and economic growth for those homeless individuals and justice-involved individuals. One thing also is to develop an awareness and a better understanding of the communities that the citizens live in to incorporate the homeless population. And this could involve enhancing awareness of the diversity of our communities, improving public perception, creating advocates, and having some type of survey to collect analysis and feedback. Also, from providing suitable housing opportunities, we want to see how we can encourage the availability of an adequate supply of low to moderate income housing for our population, senior citizens, that's located in communities that have amenities and good shopping areas. Also, if we can designate some type of areas appropriate for all types of residential development, including single family, multifamily, condominium for low to moderate income rental. Right now, it appears that individuals who want to rent, they have to have the income at least 2 or 3 times whatever that monthly rent is. And sometimes that could be up to $4,000 or $6,000 just to rent a $1,500 apartment monthly. Also, we can encourage participation with developers and housing programs to rehabilitate substandard housing and to provide needed moderately priced housing. We also want to recognize the need for new commercial growth to promote existing and encourage new small businesses that will provide employment for our justice-involved individuals. We have Douglas Connect, which is great, but if we can see how we can expand that transportation to cover more areas so the homeless individuals have more opportunities to find employment.
Well, thank you, Ms. Faye. You gave me a lot of great ideas there. I heard public safety, more employment opportunities, just a lot of great ideas there. And so, you know, thank you for that input. Faith, I see your hand. Did you have anything else to add?
Yes, Tiffany, thank you. You know what? One of our members had some insight, and I wrote it down. What she said. She asked about having, in light of the recent events and a lot of things that are going on in the country, right? And she talked about maybe having like town hall discussions, and was saying just, you know, for the citizens to be able to come before the county to address and discuss, you know, the important issues facing us as a county. I know we have the, you know, district meetings and things where the citizens are able to come before each district, but the town hall environment, you know, would focus solely on what's facing us, you know, as a county in light of the things that are going on in the country, and, you know, basically how we address those issues as a county, you know, together. Like, we are better together. That's one of the, you know, the things that we say as a league, but we are finding now that, you know, being separate is not beneficial. We knew it all along, but we are really facing times where we have to, you know, kind of address as a whole the issues that are facing us individually. So that was another suggestion from one of our junior league members. Thank you, Tiffany.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, more public engagement and town halls based around the issues is what I heard there. So, you know, I really appreciate all of your input. I'm gonna, I'll open it up for a minute for anyone else who wants to provide any other input or piggyback off of something that they've heard. So I'll give a minute to see if anyone wants to add anything.
Tiffany?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. I would definitely like to see more cooperation and collaboration among the organizations that are available here in Douglas County, and that we utilize what we have at a greater level. We have much here. Many of the things that we're requesting, we have, some we don't. Now, housing is a problem. We all know that. But most of the other things, I think that we have resources. We need to do a better job of, one, advertising those resources, two, utilizing those resources, and making sure that everyone is aware of everything that is out there. We have a plethora out there. The county has done a good job making sure that you all support us. There is room for a meeting if you wanted to have a mentor meeting here in the county for free, that the county provides. So there are things that we need to advertise better so that we can integrate the knowledge base that we have. And so if the county can help us to improve our ability to do that, we would love to. And then to the nonprofits, I'm going to do a shameless plug. I have no shame. You need to join CORE, because you know what? I think Tiffany would much rather talk to one person coming in and begging for everything than 50 people, but she wants to hear from all 50 of you. But then we need to be able to come together and say, as a group, we need these top 10 things. And I got a feeling that Tiffany and our commissioners would pretty much give us those top 10 things. At least that has been my experience. When we've asked, they provided what we wanted because we came as a united voice. So as nonprofits, I would like for you all to commit to coming as a united voice. That will make us a strong nonprofit community. We could be strong like the chamber and some of the other larger organizations here in the county so that we can be a force together. Okay, that's my plug. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Miss Amanda. So I want to thank you all. I want to make sure there's no one else that had anything to say before I close. Turn us back over to Lionel.
Tiffany,
Patty, go ahead.
I have a question. Is there any way with the website that's already set up to have a separate page? It's what made me think of it is, I don't know how many of you on Facebook are aware of the Women of Douglasville. And that's been an interactive chat, where they'll say, you know, there's something I need, and someone else says, oh, I know where you can go, and where, you know, that kind of thing, where it's an I know it have to be monitored, because the idea is not to be pulling down. The idea is to be building up, and we want to be sure it doesn't become a negative, let's just complain. And we'd have to make sure that it stays positive and that we're supporting. But it just could be somebody can come in, you know, Mr. Redmond could say, I'm looking for a place. We're doing the mentoring. Does anyone know of some place where I can go? And that type of a dialogue where people know that if there's some kind of concern, and I do know, and it may take too much time to supervise it. And I don't mean to add extra work, but that's what we're doing right now. But it could maybe be done through another medium of some sort, where we know to go in to see what we can do to help someone else, what the needs are, what are you working on right now, what can be done. So anyway, just a suggestion based on the things that people have been mentioning.
Okay, so I'm hearing some sort of listserv or social media outlet. No, thank you. We will definitely take that and into our input, and see with the team and see what we can, you know, what would come with that. So anybody else? All righty. Well, I just want to say thank you all so much for participating today. I know you all, I'm probably in most of these organizations or have worked with your organization, and I know that you all are community leaders. And so I'm counting on you now to help us get the word out. Linus is going to give you some information. He's going to make it really easy for you to share this information. But what we need for you is to go back to your members and make sure that they fill out the survey, make sure that they get engaged. We're going to have more of these. So if you had some members who for some reason didn't make it on tonight, we'll have an opportunity for them to get on, or anybody in the community who you think just may want to give input. So I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Lionel Savage to give you guys some final words.
Thank you, Tiffany. Clearly, I had to put my video on before I started to talk again. And so thank you for all of your outstanding input tonight. Clearly, you are strong advocates for your respective organizations. And so I'm going to be a little redundant here, literally saying exactly what Tiffany just finished talking about, but it's really important for us to do that. Meaning, yes, we heard your great ideas, but I want to also try to shape what we're receiving. Some of the things that you talked about, you're spot on, no doubt about it, but those may not be some of the things that the county government will actually be able to do. Sometimes we may be able to influence, sometimes we may be able to lend a helping hand, but some of those items are out of our control. Some of the things you mentioned are definitely things that we could, be a part of a more broader strategic plan as we look over the next 4 to 5 years. So I just wanted to, not to rain on the parade, because everything that was said is spot on. But some of those things, you know, guys, are really more the cohesion of the community itself. And that what we like to do, right, as citizens is maybe to have the government give us an assist, you know, an assist, a helping hand, or helping us with to execute on maybe a couple of good ideas that we have. And then secondly, I just want to just again, please go to all of your members, especially Ms. Bryant from CORE. Look, she just explained to me what CORE was twice in the last hour, so I get it. She is a linker, right? She links people together. So Ms. Bryant, I need you to link people to this website so that they can give us 4 or 5 ideas about what they like to do. Now, it's very interesting. I'm going to give you a contrast of the last 2 nights. Last night, we met with the chamber, Ms. Bryant, and you just talked about the chamber. And tonight, we're meeting, you know, with nonprofit organizations. Tremendous turnout from you guys tonight. And there's a pretty good turnout from the business community as well. But I will tell you that both groups sounded a little bit different than the other groups that we've talked to, in so much that both groups are really focused in the area, like if they're a business owner or you know, a nonprofit leader like you guys are, I need you to take a step back from your organization and put your citizen hat on. And so I want to give you a real contrast so that when you go and speak to others, you will get what I'm saying. Mostly what we hear about until the last 2 nights, it's about roads, walkable communities. You know, I think one of the gentlemen said earlier tonight about, you know, parks on the other side of, I think, Route 20, I think he said. Those are the things that we hear. I heard a little bit tonight about public health. We hear that on every one of our calls, right? It's a prevailing theme. And so I want you guys to think about that when we say we need your input or what we'd like to do over the next 5 years. Here's what's happening. When you tell us those things about roads or public health or, you know, walkable communities and things of that nature, economic development, we need better restaurants, we need better, you know, we need better shopping. See, you guys are nodding your heads, but you came tonight fired up because, you know, you wanted to talk about your nonprofit, and I get that. And that is so very valuable. But when you go to that forum, I need you to put your citizen hat on. You know, think selfishly for a change. Because see, you're coming tonight advocating for other people, and that is awesome. But I need you to tell me what's going to make life better for you and people who are important to you. You know, give me those mundane, boring things, because actually that's how we're going to build this plan, because we're going to take all of this input, right, from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of citizens, and then we're going to catalog all of that information. And so when we catalog it, it's going to bring us some bigger themes. So for instance, you know, Ms. Curry, you know, down the road, based on what we heard today, will inform our legislators on what they need to be advocating for from a budget perspective, right? So, so everything that I heard tonight, probably 75, 80% of what I heard tonight is there's a bucket for what you're talking about. And let me see if Tiffany will agree with me on the fly here. It's really a bucket of how can the government really have a bigger community engagement strategy? That could end up being one of the strategic objectives. How can the government enhance, you know, our community engagement? Not that we're not doing it now, but there may be an opportunity for us to really lean in on that over the next 5 years. And you could see if that was one of the strategic objectives, then some of those things that you guys talked about, the commissioners then have a legislative strategy of how to monetize some of those particular ideas that you just discussed. So I wanted to kind of show you from the micro tonight how it becomes the macro over time. So we can leverage what you told us tonight, but I also want you to impress upon your fellow citizens. We do want to hear about I don't want to tell you the answers because it's your answer, but I'm just sharing you what Tiffany and I have received so far. Public safety, walkable communities, roads, economic development. That, Mr. Fields, I think a couple times we've heard affordable housing on a few calls. So we know how to take those things and build something out. But you guys are tremendous. And certainly we're going to leverage your ability to talk to your constituents, people that you're dealing with every day, that you're helping in the community. And so what we're going to do specifically is we're going to get the email addresses of everybody that's here tonight, and even the ones that we invited that didn't come. We're going to, send this video back out to you and a couple of links. And in those links will be things like click on the link and it'll take you right to the form. And so I need all of you guys to go to that form and give us 4 or 5 ideas, because the videos are great and it helps us with this direct interaction and feedback. But you guys know when Tiffany and I and our team start plugging through this data several weeks from now, we got to get it from the form. We won't be able to grab it from the video. So give us 3 minutes to go to that form. And you don't have to write a book. We'll know what you're saying. Just give us a couple, a statement. And we know what that means. And if you only have 2 ideas, that's great. If you got 9, we'll take all 9. And if you have an idea this week and then you've got more ideas 3 weeks from now, it's okay here to give us the ideas twice. So there won't be any voter registration fraud issues. So if you want to give us something twice, that's actually legal. That's good. And so we'll take that. So I don't want to belabor this too much, but I think you guys get what we're asking for. Thank you so much. You've done an outstanding job tonight. It's a pleasure to meet everyone and for the great work that you're doing in the community. Tiffany?
Yes, Linus, and I thank you all and for all of your ideas, because I like the way that everyone's recognizing that local government, especially your county government, we are the one thing that everybody is under, whether you're in the city, whether you're in an organization. Douglas County is the one thing that ties us all together. And we do have a responsibility to be a convener. So I really appreciate you guys recognizing that and giving us that information. But before Linus gives you, if he has anything else, I want to go to Ms. Tarita Rogers. She just joined us, just had an opportunity to join us, and she's with the National Council of Negro Women, a newly formed organization in this community, but with hundreds of members. So I want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself and tell us any ideas that she has for Douglas County before we conclude.
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting us. As Tiffany shared, we are the new Northwest Georgia section of the National Council of Negro Women. It is an organization that recently celebrated its 85th anniversary nationally, and Dr. Janetta Cole is actually the president. Locally, our section has close to 200 members. So we were just chartered in September, but we really hit the ground running, impacting the community. We focus on areas such as health, education, economic development, political action, and we have a special emphasis on working to halt human trafficking. So we have already connected and supported JC Freedom House, Share House, and a number of other local agencies. And if you have agencies, we would love to partner with you. Today, we actually delivered baskets for cancer patients. So we have the opportunity to really give women and men, because men can join as well, in this community, just really a vehicle to impact on all those levels and areas that I just talked about. So as it relates to some of the issues or concerns or opportunities, I definitely think workforce development in the community is an area. We had quite a few members that were negatively impacted from COVID and their family members, and so they lost their jobs. People who've been with companies for 20, 25 years. So they need some new opportunities and they would like to work right here in our community. Definitely recreation. We have a lot of, we're reaching out to young people and connecting in a number of ways. And they're looking for spaces to actually, socialize, learn new skills, and do so in a safe safe manner avenue. So definitely recreation, shopping, we love shopping. So definitely, quality stores, safe, well-stocked, a wide variety, restaurants where we can eat with our families. So I talked about workforce development, jobs, encouraging new companies to actually come in this direction and hire, and not just warehouses, because that has been a big concern. I know when you're talking about personally, I live in Douglas, right off of Thornton Road, and we have been surrounded by warehouses and trucks, and it's not safe for us and for the kids because they're right there at the bus stops. Also libraries and amphitheaters, and also ensuring that those types of facilities are kind of equitable across the board. That one portion of the county doesn't have something that's new and modern, and then another portion has something that is aging and not been renovated. So those are some of the things, definitely meeting spaces that are large enough. A lot of our groups and organizations are growing. The National Council of Negro Women, we actually have 32 affiliate organizations. So every major historically Black sorority is connected to our chapter. So that, as well as Eastern Star and a number of other groups. And so a lot of us are kind of having that same challenge of finding, meeting space where larger groups can meet and have functions and things of that nature. So I know some of our hotels are growing. I do know that the issue of hotel space near the conference center has come up. As we've talked about events that perhaps may go later in the night, people have, they're starting to look for spaces where you can actually stay as well as enjoy the conference center. So those are some things, but the big items for us are definitely the workforce development piece. Also, healthcare and health resources that can reach out into the community. Just because we just found that a lot of women, in particular young women, lack knowledge and lack connection in those areas. So they're not really sure of how to take care of themselves or their family.
Thank you for that information. So what I'm hearing is you want Douglas County to be a great place to live, work, and play, safe, economic opportunities. That's amazing. And then Mr. Fields, I saw what you put in the chat. You want the mall to be rehabbed, more and better bike trails and better restaurants. So thank you for that input. So once again, I thank you all again so much for tonight. Please make sure to share the link and this video and any information you can about Douglas Forward 2025. We will be calling on you guys again to help us get the information out. And that's all I have. Lionel, I'll turn it over to you to close us out. All right, well I'll go ahead.
Well, thank you everyone. Please have a great evening. Like I said, we will be in touch with you shortly in the next day or so. You'll receive the link to this video to share through all your social media platforms and in your email list. Feel free to just send it any and everywhere. And of course, the links also in those messages so that people can click on the link and fill out the survey. And again, please go to the website. I'm looking in that inbox, so I know when someone has given us given us a response. So don't have me come looking for you in a couple of days. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, guys.